guys? Welcome to the club. This is the All Boys and Girls Club, All the Children of Israel's Club. This is the Most High Jazz Club. This is the Living Gods Club. This is the Lion of Judas Club. And we're talking about the gods, the 18 gods. Popcorn in his songs, he says 876 God, and then he says who he rolling with, but he doesn't say rolling, he just says who. He just says something, then he's like 6th God. But in the background, the 6th God was in his ship typing, you better say that you're rolling with the 6th God instead of the 7th God and the 8th God. Well, let's get all the gods straight. There was the one God, who was the Lion of Judah Jr. He was S. If you played the stack of cards of hearts, he was S. Then there was the 2 God, the 2nd God. That was also Judah. Then there was the 3rd God. Then there was the 4th God. Then there was the 5th God. I came from the 5th God too. Then there was the 6th God, who was greed, and greed turned evil. Then there was the 7th God, who born the 7th, so that greed wouldn't win with the mark of the beast. Then there was the 8th God, who was the Most High Jah's son. Then there was the 9th God, who is Oha, who is the Almighty. Then there was the 10th God, who is the Lion of Judah. Then there was the 11th God, who is the Emmanuel, Jesus Christ. And I'm also Jesus Christ, who is named Emmanuel, because I was the firstborn, not in this generation, not to this father, who is Mas Kelly, but to my other fathers, I was the firstborn. So, with that being said, the 12th God is Muhammad. The 13th God is Joshua, and she's a female. The 14th God is Selassie, the 1st and 2nd. The 15th God is Queen Omega, the 1st and 2nd. The 16th God is the Most High Jah. The 17th God is the 17th angel, or is Malik. And the 18th God is his empress. And that's the 18 gods, guys. We're talking about the gods today and the job that they did throughout the whole of creation and existence. We're talking real talks, real facts, real evidence about how good of a job or how sloppy of a job they did. And yes, I did use sloppy, and yes, I did use how much ignorance was in black people pushed on by white people from the first colonization when they first raided Ethiopia and Africa and they first killed us and raped our wives. From that ignorance that was pushed in black people, we're talking about the gods and how good of a job they did and how whack of a job they did with the children of Israel and the elders of Israel. We're going to start from Genesis. Then, after I go to Revelations, I'm going to start from Genesis and I'm going to work my way to Revelations. This might be more than one part, so you guys stay tuned. Or I'll make it one video, put it on YouTube, then send it to you guys through Facebook. So watch this. And listen, guys, I'm not being ignorant about it. I'm the most loving person. I just have to get everything off my chest of the breath that Grandpa, the Lion of Judah, breathed inside of my Elohim that went to my body, because that was my original Elohim, that was my big body. And that's why I feel this pain, and that's why I feel this sorrow, and that's why I feel this love, and that's why I feel this anger inside of me. Okay, guys? I went up to heaven, he blew breath in me. So watch this now. The good job they did and the sloppy job that the gods did. With Oha, who is the Almighty, and Greed, who is the devil's first son. Yeah, they called the Almighty the devil too. The Lion of Judah called the Almighty the devil too. These are not my words. These are the Lion of Judah's words. Because he kept stealing from the Lion of Judah. He took his first wife. He took his first son. The Almighty did all of these stuff to the Lion of Judah. So he didn't like the Lion of Judah didn't like him no more. He broke all 10 commandments. Then he became a snake. Then he became back the Almighty because he got his powers back by people selling their souls to him, and him not having to rely on a snake. It's a big long story. I'll get into all the details in this video. So let's talk about the good things that they did and the bad things. Let's start from Genesis. So after God created all things, then he created Adam and Eve. He left them in a garden and he went back up to his heaven and he left them unattended. They're just children, but they're in a big body. But they're just children. He just made them in a big body because he didn't want to make babies where they had no sense and they need to rely on their father all the time, because the father had to get back to work to try to find that blasted snake that fell from heaven when the war happened in heaven. So with that being said, let's get to Adam and Eve. He left them in the garden by themselves unattended, and the snake was in the garden. He fell from heaven to America, which was the Garden of Eden, which was probably California, where it's hot all the time. That's where the belly of the beast is now. And Eden is not over there no more. It's in Toronto, Canada, where King Solomon was raised. So watch this now. They left them in the garden, and the snake came about the apple tree, which was the first apple that they were going to pick to have their first son, which is Abel. But the serpent possessed the tree, made the tree evil, and then made Eve eat the apple while Adam was going to pick an orange, because after Abel was going to be born, then another son was going to be born. It wouldn't have been Cain, who was the devil's son. It would have been Eve's son, or Eve's daughter that been born. And it would have been Yahshua who was born, which would have been lovely. So it makes sense now, guys, if you stay to my whole story? So watch this now. He gives Eve the apple, they eat it. Then he becomes Eve's snake. He be fruitful and multiply in Eve. And then he goes to Adam and makes Adam eat the apple. Then he becomes a snake in Adam. And the snake stays right here in your body, and it goes to your mouth. Sometimes the snake eats food, and sometimes he does stuff. I saw when they took the snake out of me, because I repent my sins, and God made me over again. So God told the devil to take the snake out of me. But he didn't take it out of a lot of people, and that's why the devil got the world the way he has the world. Because the snake sometimes talks for you. So watch this now. That was a mistake by the line of Judah, by leaving them unattended, even though he knew they were children, and he just told them don't eat from the tree in the middle, even though he didn't know where the snake was. So God made a promise to Adam and Eve. You could stay in the garden. You have to go to the land of Nod, which is Canada, the north, which was supposed to be Canada, because they changed the geographical map when God got to the planet. Oha changed it because he didn't want England to burn, so he made Canada the north instead of England and Europe the north. But you have to look at the geographical map the way it's supposed to be looked at. The only reason why Queen Elizabeth says that Canada, and Oha says Canada is the north, is because Queen Elizabeth came to Canada on Halloween and Thanksgiving and ate up a lot of black people and ate up a lot of Indians, and then they started celebrating Thanksgiving and started celebrating Halloween, which was the devil's birthday, because Queen Elizabeth and the devil, who is the Almighty, wanted to eat up black people on his birthday and on Halloween. And then they became good, and then they started to say, okay, for Halloween it's going to be trick-or-treat, and for Thanksgiving it's going to be a turkey instead of people. See what I'm saying? Get to the logics of behind all of this stuff. I'll give you guys a minute to think about everything, and then I'll get back to you guys. The time is now on the clock, 7:57. Ready, guys? So let's go now to Exodus. That was the first mistake that God did, and a lousy job that God did. Now, if God had attended them, they wouldn't have ate that apple. God would have been like, Eve, remember I told you not to eat that apple? Then Eve would have said, okay, God, I won't eat it. But the snake is right there. Then God would have got the snake, and then the whole Garden of Eden and the world would have been safe for now, until God released that snake again. See what I'm saying, guys? That was the first mistake the line of Judah made. Now let's get to Exodus. Jacob, first son, Malachi, who is Joseph, went down to Egypt. Then Jacob went down to Egypt first, then he came back up. Then Joseph and all of his kids went down there. All the way to Judah went down there. And guess why they went down there, guys? Ra had the first pyramid built, and he had Emmanuel in the pyramid. So Israel and his nosy self said, God, I can't listen to you right now. I gotta go find my brother, Emmanuel the genius, Emmanuel the great. So he goes down to Egypt, he finds Emmanuel, and he finds Emmanuel in the worst, but in the greatest way. And they start talking about stuff, about God. He brings his Bible too, because God showed him the whole truth from the beginning to the end. And he even showed him the dimensions that he could travel through when you read the Bible. So with that being said, he goes to Egypt, Jacob and Israel, who is Israel, and he talks to Emmanuel. Ra hears the talkings, the Almighty hears the talkings. Then Almighty starts to make his pharaohs and starts to steal from Jacob, who is Israel, because Jacob, who is Israel, had Archangel Michael's kids inside of him. the 17th angel's kids inside of him, and God, Most High Jah's kids inside of him, and the line of Judah's kids inside of him, and St. Gabriel's kids inside of him. So Oha starts to teeth his kids and his seeds. There's a difference between kids and seeds. There's actual bodies that live inside of a human body, but nobody sees them because they're all asleep. All they do is feed off your energy, and they sleep in your body till your seeds are ready to give a baby. Then they go inside of the woman, but nobody sees that. It's in the spiritual world only. That's a true story too. I saw when they took 2 of my kids out of my body, why I know that I have seeds, which is your white blood cell vessels, which is your cum, and you have kids, which is bodies inside of your body. Now, with that being said, let's get back to Exodus. After they start teething his kids, he dies, and Kemet is born. Almighty tries to make Kemet, but it turns out that Kemet was more like Israel than like the Almighty. So Kemet was born. Now the children of Israel are in Israel. They're fruitful and they multiply, and there's so much in Israel, and the Pharaoh starts to take over and give them hard labor. So God sees that they start to cry out, and Moses went to have a kid and slew 2 of them, and then God just called Moses and said, Moses, I have a job for you to do. I got that pesky snake named Oha. Let's go get the children of Israel. So he gives Moses the snake, which turns into a stick, and Moses goes to rescue Israel. Now, why was that snake so powerful, guys? It's because the snake hypnotized Adam and Eve, and the snake hypnotized the children of Israel to hard labor. Why the snake was so powerful? Because the snake was the Almighty, who is Oha. Who is the biggest pharaoh? Isn't it Oha? Or you guys don't know him by Oha? You know him as O Pharaoh? Oh, he's the Almighty. Children of Israel don't get mad, and the people of Egypt don't get mad. It's not your fault. There were good pharaohs. King Tut was a good pharaoh. He stuck to the God's rules. That's why he got his inheritance. I saw when he got his inheritance, and he's recreated again. He lives in Toronto, King Tut. And he should get all of his inheritance. He got some of it. So, with that being said, let's get back to Exodus. So the snake was powerful. So the snake hypnotized the Egyptians. The snake even hypnotized the Hebrew Jews, who were hypnotized by the pharaohs, if you get what I mean. Okay, you don't get what I mean? So the snake hypnotized the pharaohs because the snake was in charge of the pharaohs, because they worshiped the snake. They worshiped the Almighty. It also hypnotized the Hebrew Jews because the Hebrew Jews were so used to listening to the pharaohs and doing hard labor that they started to listen to Oha, because Oha would enforce the hard labor, that the snake could hypnotize the Hebrew Jews too. In a good way, not a bad way, to lead them out. Because they wouldn't have moved with Moses if the snake didn't hypnotize them. They would have said, yo, we're going to get killed, we can't move. See what I'm saying? So watch this now. After that, God comes, send Moses. Moses helps. Moses leads them out, cross the Red Sea, cross River Jordan, but the Leviticus stays back. Emmanuelite comes, burns up the Leviticus them, who are the holy priesthood of the Most High Jah, because they stayed back. Then the children of Israel, who are 11 tribes now, because the Leviticus got burned up. Yeah, man, Rasta people, you guys didn't know that it was a man that who burned you guys up and sent white people to burn you guys up? Yeah, it was a man that he admitted it in court, in Zion's court. I salute you too, sir. And I salute our name. Right name who said Israel's king is Israel's God, and one of them say I must have them mad. Kokati, I salute you too. Yeah. So yeah, they didn't know that it was a man like that burned up the Leviticus people them. And Malachi and Oha and them. Because Malachi and Oha and them still had ties to the priesthood, because the priesthood were doing their priestly duties in Egypt and in Ethiopia and in the rest of Africa. So, with that being said, they lead them out. Then God kicks Moses out of the promised land for disobeying one commandment. Then Archangel Michael tells them we have to go get Moses back because Satan is trying to get the body of Moses. So God figures out why the children of Israel start to sin, because Satan was talking to their head captain Moses. So the children start to sin. That wasn't issued in the papers? Well, it's issued in the papers now. Satan, and because Moses still had the seeds and the bodies inside of him, and his brain and his bone marrow still inside of him and his flesh, that Satan could convince the seeds of Israel to sin because he could still talk to the body, because the body was still alive even though it was dead. You didn't know the body can still talk even though it's dead? Yeah, it can, but in a spiritual form only. The flesh can talk and the bone marrow can talk. And Satan found out how to make it talk and how to hear it. So with that being said, he brings back the body of Moses only to burn it, not knowing that that body shouldn't have burned because he did so much good stuff. He should have been buried, or he should have been wrapped in Egyptian mummy wrap. You see what I'm saying? But God was so ignorant back then. He was, because of what the devil did to him. Let's get to the first 7, then we'll get back to Leviticus after Exodus. Let's get to the first 7 when it all happened, why God became ignorant. One day God was sleeping in his bed, and the devil came from the sun, stole his wife, had sex with her, and then took his baby down to the belly of the beast, which is California. So God got bent, God got ignorant, God got mad, God got vexed, and he went to war against him. But then he decided to cool down, have an next child, which was Emmanuel, and then go on continue to build his children. And because Emmanuel kept saying, God, let me be born, God, let me be born, so God born Emmanuel. That wasn't written in the papers either, but that's the true fact. God didn't want to born him. God just wanted to go and get revenge. Born some of his soldiers, then born his son. But he born Emmanuel. So with that being said, one's in the belly of the beast, and the devil is convincing that one that's in the belly of the beast that he's the devil, and that the devil is really God. See what I'm saying? And this is why I don't like God, because God never came to his rescue, and all that time the devil thought that he was God, and all that time that baby thought that he was the devil. That baby is me. And I want you guys to get a clear picture of my face. That baby is me. And I'll give you my baby picture one day. It's a little different than this face because I was young, but look at my face. That child that the devil stole from the line of Judah was me. And up to this day, the line of Judah still hates me. And up to this day, the line of Judah still betrays me and still does what he does for the devil to come and take me again. Now let's get to the first 7 now. Let's get back to Leviticus. Now there's Leviticus, and he's making all the rules for the children of Israel. He's finding out what the devil did to them, what the Pharaoh did to them, and he's finding, say, they're going to sin, so I better make some rules. Read Leviticus 14 and 15. I won't explain too much about it, but it's about masturbation, and it's about having sex with a woman. It's about ejaculation. It's about your white blood cell vessels coming out of your body. For the masturbation, he said, if you masturbate, you must bathe, and then by evening you will be clean. Then wait 7 days and make an ornament. An ornament is either a painting, a picture, or something physical that you make with your hands that you can make and then put it up for God to take to the holy priesthood. And they said to bring 2 turtle doves to the holy priesthood. God made me a holy priesthood. For the having sex with a woman, they say once you have sex with a woman, and there's 2 different ones. Remember I said there's 2. Leviticus 14 and 15. Read both of them. So, for having sex with a woman, it says, you have sex with her, then you must bathe, and by evening you will be clean, then wait 7 days and make an ornament, and bring 2 turtle doves. Same rules apply for the children of Israel, because of what the devil did. And because that kid was in the belly of the beast, and the devil made him think that he was the devil, and that the devil was God. This is why God, if you turn it backwards, is called dog. Get what I'm saying? This is why the dog is free to roam amongst people on a leash and off on a leash, but the lion isn't. Or the black panther, or the tiger, or the cheetah, or the gorilla, or the monkey. But they use monkeys in labs talking about they're so smart. Let them feed us the knowledge, while the people who love monkeys, they just want to be their friend, don't get to be around monkeys. I'm talking about Curious George and them, and the gorillas them. See what I'm saying? If you talk to them, they're nice because animals were nice, and they never fought each other until the devil and God fought. So with that being said, let's get Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers. Let's get to Numbers. Now Numbers, I don't know, I didn't read too much, but they start to section them out in their tribes and start to give them their land and start to tell them how to multiply your money and start to count the places that you go, the places where you live. All of that start to add up and they start to count stuff in Numbers. And if you read Numbers 24, 4-9, or the whole of Numbers, you will see where Jacob and Israel is coming from and the children of Israel is coming from and what the Almighty did to the children of Israel and Jacob. So I'm going to stop right there and I'll get back to you guys in a few minutes. Alright, let me go on now. So, Leviticus, Numbers 24, 4-9, and read the whole of Numbers too. So, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Then Deuteronomy. You cross over Jordan River. Some of the Leviticus stay back. God curses the land. But he doesn't curse the Leviticus them. And whoever traveled over got blessed. The Leviticus didn't get no inheritance. So they only got tithings, which was from doing their peace work and from doing their holy work. So that's why God refuses to give me money too. I guess all the rest of them are Judah then. And some of the Bible shanties are Leviticus why they did poor, because they only get tithings. And God never even changed that law yet. Only King Solomon wanted to change that law. I guess I am manifested too. Deuteronomy. So you see where God is going wrong and you see where he's going right? Well, you follow me? He left the Leviticus them on the cursed land, never even forced them over, never even talked them to make them want to come over the Jordan River. And that's the Baba Shanti them and some of the Naibingis them who are Leviticus and are the holy priesthood. And you see them still living poor. But only the Rastaman them that went down the hill got to be stars. What? King Solomon come to make them rich. Because the first heaven was rich. It had gold everywhere, marble floors, gold seats, nice couch, everything. So I'm going to make them rich again. Since they do the most honest work and the most best work, they should be rich. You see what I'm saying? Because they do the peace work that keeps the earth safe and keeps the universe and galaxy safe. So they should be rich. That's the most honest job. That's the most best job. That's the most high paying job that you could do. If you want to take the quality into a job. Because they do doctor work too. So that is the most high and paid job, but they get no salary for it. No pay for it. So I'm going to bring that payment with my $1 zillion. Now, so we can skip a couple of them. Let's get to Samuel. Or you want to go to Joshua? Joshua, he didn't make no mistakes with Joshua. Let's go to Judges. When he burned up Egypt, there were still people in the basement of the pyramid system, and there were still people in the pyramid system. He never burned up that. So they came out, the judges, to judge the children of Israel. So Leviticus had to go on. We were fighting goat and ram because they're sending Oah's people who had adopted the goat and the ram and the ox. So God fight them with the Rasta people and the children of Israel, and them start fight, black and black start fight. None of the demons were involved, but the demons were probably leading it from hell. Why the goat and ram were fighting the sheep and the shepherd and the lamb and the lion and the cubs? You guys keeping up? Yeah, it's people when I talk this stuff. The goat is people. When you see that guy, when you see that guy, what's his name? Polo G, he calls himself the goat. That's people. And you see him go to war with people. That's people. But he's going to war with the opposite of them and niggas that try to rob him. See what I'm saying? He's not just doing any fucking fashion war. And that's self-defense, guys. So he's not under Allah's protection, the Almighty's protection. He's under the Lion of Judah's protection. If it's self-defense. Anybody that does self-defense is under the Lion of Judah's protection. Anybody who does offense is under the devil's protection. And you could tell because the devil is the one that rushed God. It wasn't God that rushed the devil at the beginning. thank you. That's why we're all Ethiopian again. And that's why we're all the land of Kemen again. I love my black nation, and I stand up for you all the time. All the time you tell the truth to God, but God just can't keep up. So I'll pause it again, guys, and I'll get back to you. Alright, guys, we're back. I'm just speaking facts. This is the untold story. This is my Lamb's book. It's a very long book. This is about as long as the Bible. I'm going to make this series 1 hour long for the people. I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is 7YMGJ, Gary Ganu, and Yahshua 2, and Emmanuelite 2. That is my YouTube. Gary Ganu is spelled GARRYGANEW, and Yahshua is spelled YOSHUA, and Emmanuelite is spelled EMMANULE, or EUELI, and then 2. So if you type in that, you'll get my YouTube. So basically, we're talking about the good things that God did and the bad things that God did to the children of Israel and the elders of Israel. And if you read the Bible and you read the depths of the Bible and the heights of the Bible, you will read, say, God really did make mistakes with the children of Israel. He never thought once that the devil had them in such a headlock that they had to listen. But he always used to get mad at the children of Israel. And his temper was like the Lion of Judah. And the Lion of Judah used to get mad at them, and the Most High Jah used to get mad at them. But their temper was like a lion. So the children used to humble themselves, get quiet, and get all scared. And then even go and do more sin because they were so scared. It was a reverse psychology that happened to them. You see what I'm saying? So they kept on sinning because they were so scared. And they didn't want to go back to God. Because they thought God was so too mad at them and too angry with them. Look at today's society. My brother Millie thought that my dad was too hard on him when he kicked him out at a young age, so he went to sell drugs. And he smoked weed all day, and he didn't get a job. He just kept on sinning. Not he sold weed, and he didn't get a job for a long time, and he just kept doing what he does. But not he didn't sin. See what I'm saying? So with that being said, guys, it's a proven fact that sometimes the gods don't know how to act. So, you know, Lion of Judah, I like to talk to you in a calm voice. I hate talking to you with anger. But even in Revelation, when you read Revelation 5, that was a mistake that could have been dealt with, where that didn't have to be written that way. And that doesn't have to happen. Because a lot of people died in a cruel way in Revelation 5. And then they went to Shiloh. You see what I'm saying? And some of them you turned into snakes because you thought that they betrayed you. So you didn't make them go receive their soul in Shiloh. And you couldn't keep up with the time, so some of them the devil stole. Because you couldn't keep up with all the children that the devil was killing. To take them to Shiloh, because you know you have to do something when they die for them to receive their soul in Shiloh. So with that being said, the Lion of Judah should have just hooked them up to Shiloh and made them be their soul in Shiloh instead of trying to go Adolf Hitler's way by turning them into snakes. There was only one snake, and that was the devil and his people there. None of your other children became snakes. They just strayed from you because of the difficulties that you put before their table. And if you don't believe me, you can go ask Diggs too. Because he was Ezekielized who strayed from you too and started listening to the Almighty. And that's only because you were listening to the Almighty. By killing your own people and getting mad at your own people. So the Almighty didn't have to get mad at us no more because he saw that God was being mad at us. And he's right here. The Almighty's sitting here typing shit and recording shit. I'll be back. Yeah, so I was just saying, there's a lot of good things that he did, but a lot of bad things. We're talking about the bad things that he did, because I want people to wake up and start crying out to him so he will wake up. Matthew, he couldn't help himself what happened to Jesus because they struck his kingdom too when they struck the earth.
It happened in heaven as it happened on earth, and at the same time. And then God resurrected in heaven and came down for Jesus. That's what happened to Selassie. Why Selassie's handprint looks like it happened to him when it happened to Jesus too. Who? He's eating ice cream? Father, forgive me, but I love you. And the reason why I'm eating ice cream is because ain't nothing wrong with that scepter that made ice cream when they made ice cream. Did you know that white vanilla was actually black? And that ice cream could be black? But nobody knew that. She just made it what she made it. Nobody knew the gift that God gave me when He gave me that scepter. Could turn anything into anything. And I gave God the keys to make a new one. And He better stuff it inside of Him and lock it up. I know. But you didn't want me to do that with my fingers, so you gave me a tool. And you never made me over for me to do that. Got eaglet. I just learned a new word. I just learned what an eagle's female is. An eaglet. An eaglet, yeah. An eaglet alien. An eaglet alien. That's what I am. An eaglet alien. Did you know that I was an eaglet alien? And I know my kids are eagle aliens too. Eagle ABGians. Let's talk about the good stuff that he did though. Let's go back to Genesis. He left them in a big garden, all types of trees, all types of rivers, all types of clean water, all types of animals that they were in charge of. But the serpent was there, and that's why it was cut so short. If the serpent wasn't there, they would have had so much fun. They would have built their kids, they would have made their kids, they would have built their houses, and it would have been so blessed. The whole earth would have been so blessed. See what I'm saying? But the snake landed on the earth. That's my favorite girl. Yeah, sure. But she makes me so mad. I pull out my hair. I cut my hair. Every time Yashua makes me mad and disappointed. And every time she tells the Almighty her secrets and Emmanuel and everybody else's secrets, but she leaves me out, I get so mad. Did you know that the Almighty did that to Yashua, where Yashua has to tell him his secrets, her secrets, because he took her Elohim, which was her flower, which was her destiny? I want that Elohim back. Now her spirit came back to me. She's wrapped up with me in a cocoon inside of my chest, but her Elohim never came back but her spirit came out of her Elohim and back to me. They're wrapped up in a cocoon. They kiss all the time. He wipes his mouth after he kisses physically, but not Elohim fully. And they just talk to each other and breathe inside of each other. That's all they do inside of the cocoon. They're going to come out next year, June 25th. And she's going to go back to her body, and my Elohim's going to be big in my body. And then God's going to make her body over. But nobody's going to know that she's Yahshua. I figured that's why I'm going to have 1,000 girls. Plus more. So nobody knows who Yahshua is. I think so. All black. Spanish and Asian. And Indian. Pakistani, Sri Lankan, and Punjabi. I want all my snakes back, God. As God would say, but they're snakes. They're so dime bristles. God call them snakes, yo. I'm like, yo, God, don't call your fucking females them snakes just because they're acting like that. They miss King Solomon, yo. They miss his body, yo. King Solomon used to spring on his body on all of them. God used to charge up King Solomon's body with pomegranate fruits and bubble shanti roots and all types of stuff. He used to charge his body. Yeah, you would see all of them. You would see all of his 1,000 women them. Not in one night, but cause nobody could see all 1,000 women in one night. But he would check all of them. And he was just charged, ready to go. Yeah, yo, they stuff a pomegranate fruit. That means a fountain of seeds. You know the pomegranate fruit is the most fruit that has the most seeds. That and the watermelon. It talks about it in Songs of Solomon. But yeah, that's what I figured I would do, Yasha, just to keep you safe. I want to slam palm, yo. Slam palm, I going like she want to get ridiculous with me. And Yasha I going like she can't stand it if me slam palm. I say Yasha stand it because you slam Malachi, me never say blouse and skirt nothing but cussing rascal. But anyways, Malachi, you know say that you is a fucking general, but you're not the right crucial general, you is a fucking evil general. Or general. Because you go fuck my wife them and commit adultery. Poor soul. Go fuck your own wife them. Oops, you raped them. That's why they don't want you no more. Now you want my wives. That's what you were charged with back in 97 or 2004. Whenever you were charged. You were charged for rape, nigga. And polygamy because you weren't Muslim. And you couldn't marry all of them. Well, I am half Muslim. So I can marry all of my wives. Muhammad is my son. From Anissa. And I have 2 other kids from Anissa that are Indian, that are Muslim. And my dad has a kid inside of him that's Muslim. It's not from Queen Sheba. So she put a baby inside of him. I am Baba Black Sheep. They say, have you any wool? So I cut off my hair and I gave them about 3 bags full. 1 for mama, 1 for papa, and 1 for the children of Israel. I must have cut my dreads off 4 times. I kept 1 for myself. But I hate when I cut my dreads, and I hate when people cut their dreads. I hate that shit, yo. I don't hate them. I hate the fact that they cut their dreads, but I don't hate them. Yeah, there's a difference. The fact that they cut their dreads is that, you know, something happened and they had to cut their dreads, so I hated that. But the fact that they're good people, I don't hate them. So there is a difference for people that don't understand. Diane keeps saying fat chance, rat's ass. God knows what that means. Fat chance, rat's ass. I don't give a rat's ass. That's what she keeps saying. So, you know, guys, this is real talk. This is real conversations. I'm here, your first patient, the head of a nation. Buddha bless me, Buddha bless you. King Solomon in the flesh, live and direct. And we still trying to find a cure for cancer. And we're going to build a cigarette that doesn't have nicotine in it and has that green peppermint leaf in it with my Maccabini cess. So it doesn't disturb the mental like cigarettes. It'll be that Maccabini pure cess. We're going to build a cigarette like that. Then we're going to find a cure for cancer. I think the line of Judah knows what I'm saying right now. That's the cure for it. But it has to have something more in it. The mint tea, the Maccabini cess, and something else. Because you can't use that just to cure it. That has feelings too. How do I know that?
You ever pick a flower from its roots? Like cotton from its roots? Well, the roots that are stuck in the earth, it's like a vein. But you never hear a tree call and say, ow, you just picked me, because you're not in the spiritual world and the dimension of that tree. God put trees in a different dimension, so you couldn't hear when they bawl when a branch breaks or something like that, and that branch says, can't you fix me please and put me back up? I want to be with my rest of my family. Now, you could put it up in many different ways. You could use honey, you could use a nail, but I suggest you don't use a nail because that will hurt the tree. But you could use super glue, you could use all types of stuff, but I suggest you don't use super glue either, because then the water can't get to the branches. But there is a way to put back up that branch. People just never thought of it. You could use a rope. You know what I'm saying? A heavy duty magnet that you stick onto the tree while the rest of the tree gets the sap, and then it goes into the sap of the tree or the water. But nobody thinks of these stuff because we're not in the dimension of the tree. Now, when you guys burn tree wood, it broke off, but it still has feeling in it because it still has water in it. That's why it burns so long. So it still has feeling in it. I don't know why you guys burn trees, but you never knew that the human body was a tree. Your arms and your legs are the branches, and your head is the top of the tree. How do I know this? Because I saw when God took a tree out of my body and He planted it back in the fields. So that's how I know this. You ever saw Noah too? How those trees came to life? Yeah, that's how I know that too. They have feelings, but they're just in a different dimension. Once they come to the physical human dimension, which is called the living dimension, then you will hear them. I'm going to videotape something tomorrow and show you guys if the light shines on it bright. I found Mumbo's foot that is a birch tree outside of my building, and it has Zazu, where they buried Zazu inside of the tree. It has Zazu's picture on the outside of the tree. Who's Zazu? The bird from Lion King. I'm not joking, I saw it, and it's right downstairs on my building. It also has Dumbo's eye that they buried inside of his leg. So yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up. I'm not gonna make it an hour long because I know you guys like short sessions. You guys don't like to sit down for an hour and hear somebody talk. But once again, my name is Joshua Israel King Solomon. I came to save the day, but sometimes I feel like the day doesn't want to be saved, so I turn it into the night. I'm the light of the day. I travel with the light. I don't have no darkness in me, but the darkness tries to haunt me, and it tries to get me on their side, but I keep on backing it away. Sometimes I give in, but I don't go to the dark side. I stay neutral, the yin and the yang. I just overstand the yin and the yang, and I stop fighting for the yin. And I just settle for the yin and the yang, if you get what I mean. So, no, on the contrary, this is what it is, and this is who I am. The black, dark-skinned, melanin kid, the Maccabini Cess, the Bumblebee Ship, the Maccabees, the Wu-Tang Killer Bees is my elders. Father God knows, the Lion of Judah knows. We're trying to do our best with Him, but sometimes we feel like He doesn't care about the children of Israel, because all through the Bible He kept on getting mad with us. So if He doesn't understand what the devil does, then He has no business getting mad at us. He needs to understand what He does and how He works and how He manipulates people's minds, and people are finding a hard time to get out of it. See what I'm saying? And that's where the sin comes in. I love you guys. Give a shout out to Yashua and Emmanuel. They're videotaping all of you guys in Yard and the Caribbean Islands in Africa. You're on a big videotape. That's why they have satellites up in the sky. It goes to the ship and they videotape everything.
This is the starting of creation to the end of creation that we're videotaping, and we want to hear people's message, their suggestions, their ideas, and we want to hear if people know the beginning of the story and the end of the story. So let's get to it, guys. I love you guys. To a nation that is black, love you guys. Let's go to a nation that is black, to the body of Christ. Africa, Brazil, its wife, Afghanistan, Iraq, Lebanon, Caribbean and West Indian Islands, Canada and America, Mexico and Cuba, and the Philippines and the Asians, China and Japan and Korea. That is the black nation. Love you guys.